Good evening, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Pensacola, Florida, home of Five Flags Speedway and host to tonight's third annual Extra Life 300. Tonight, some of iRacing's best drivers will compete for the right to call themselves the Extra Life 300 champion and lay claim to the $50 prize that goes to tonight's winner, all in support of the Children's Miracle Network. Tonight's race is brought to you by support from our wonderful sponsors, the DJ3 Extra Life team, Lucky Hunter Jewelry Design, MD's Sports Bar and Grill, and Sunflower Real Estate Group. Hello everyone, my name is Josh Cox and I'll be your host tonight for 300 laps around the very racy Five Flags Speedway. As we get started tonight, here's a little bit of information about our home for tonight's race. Five Flags Speedway opened in 1953 and is named after the city of Five Flags, which is where we are tonight in Pensacola, Florida. It is a paved half-mile oval with 15-degree bankings in each turn and 9-degree banking down each straightaway. Tonight's race distance is 300 laps, or approximately 150 miles. Tonight's weather is shaping up to be a sunny, beautiful evening in Florida as well. The air temperature currently is 85 degrees. Look for that to decrease as the cars race into the evening. Winds are steady northeast at 11 miles an hour. Humidity is at 55% and the skies are clear and beautiful. Also important tonight are our keys to victory. Tire management is going to be crucial for drivers tonight. They are limited to 6 sets of tires, so they have to make those tires last all 300 laps. They should be safe, but if somebody gets a little bit too greedy early on, it could affect their night later on in the evening. And of course, it's sunny right now, but this is going to be a night race. Look for skies to get dark, to change, and as we do, Five Flags Speedway is going to get very dark as well. The lighting is not real strong here, so the drivers are going to have the added challenge of navigating the track and the other cars all in the dark. Look for that to cause a potential problem this evening as the sun begins to set. The cars are forming up on the starting grid for tonight's race, so let's head down trackside and meet our competitors for tonight's event. We have 11 racers lined up on the grid to take tonight's start, so let's kick it off with our 11th place starter, number 34, Corey Bowdenau from Athens, Ohio. Starting 10th, the number 91 from Pennsylvania, Dave Askew. Starting 9th, the number 36, also from Pennsylvania, Ken Askew. Starting 8th, from Springville, New York, the number 60 of Matt Zaccardo. Starting 7th, the number 25 from New York of Tyler Daniels. Starting 6th, from Linden, California, the number 7 of Bill Dart. Starting 5th, the number 23 from Mount Zion, Illinois, Tyler Scott. Starting 4th, the number 66 from literally anywhere in the country, and I'll explain on that later, Marvin Turnmeyer Jr. Starting 3rd, the number 53 from Sandy, Utah of Lyle Christensen. And your front row starters for tonight, starting 2nd, the 00 of Jeff McConey from Wilbraham, Massachusetts. And your pole sitter for tonight, from Minneapolis, Minnesota, the number 86 of John Borst. And as the cars begin to roll off to start their pace laps, we're just about ready to get things rolling here in this third annual Extra Life 300. But as the drivers pace, I want to take just a moment to talk about the namesake of tonight's event, Extra Life. Extra Life is a fundraising arm of the Children's Miracle Network, and it is a year-long campaign for gamers around the world to raise money for their local children's hospital. Each year, the campaigns culminate in a 24-hour gaming marathon that teams participate in. As we speak, the DJ3 Extra Life team is participating in their marathon, and this event is part of it. Every driver in tonight's race has donated to the DJ3 Extra Life team's campaign and has pushed their totals well past $8,000 raised so far for the OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois. The DJ3 Extra Life team would like to thank all of our donors, especially these drivers, for their contributions to tonight's event. If you'd like to learn more about Extra Life and the DJ3 Extra Life team, please visit our Facebook page by searching at DJ3 Extra Life or visiting their team page at extra-life.org/team/DJ3. And now as the cars begin to roll through turns 3 and 4, we are going to see the green flag fly. And the 2020 Extra Life 300 is underway from Five Flags Speedway. Cars roll smoothly through 1 and 2, still mostly 2x2. Got John Borst battling at the bottom, but Jeff McConey's going to take the lead. He's going to bring the field out of turn 4 and lead lap number 1. field beginning to single file out a little bit here real quick. The Speedway is still a little bit loose. As the sun begins to set, you'll see things start to tighten up a little bit, and these cars will be a little bit harder for the drivers to manage. But for now, they're probably going to be content. This is a long race, so they're going to be content to settle in here, get some initial laps in the books, and make sure that they have the feel that they're looking for. See Lyle Christensen drifting high just a little bit there, surrendering a position to Marvin Turnmeyer as Marvin takes over the third spot. Still the same two up front, Jeff McConey, John Borst. Like I said, everybody's pretty content here to get a feel for these sometimes edgy race cars. As I say that, you see John Borst get a little bit loose on the back end there. He's going to slide up, give Marvin Turnmeyer an opportunity to look possibly underneath of him. But he might be able to defend that position fairly well. Looks like he will. At least for now. Again, he gets loose, sliding up out of that corner. As I was going to say, these cars are very edgy. They're very difficult sometimes to maintain, to control, because they will get loose on you and step out before you even realize it, really. And I'm sure we'll see several issues like that this evening. With drivers who have issues with their cars getting out of hand, especially out of turn number 4. Turn 4 seems to be a rather difficult place for drivers. For some reason, the amount of wheel that you have to put in it to get up off the corner ends up sometimes, as these tires wear out, causing the drivers to lose control coming up out of that corner. So we'll keep an eye on that tonight. Looks like Lyle Christensen kind of running that second groove. Some of the guys are going to be content to kind of follow him, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him jump up there at some point. Kind of got a gaggle of cars hanging on back here, kind of 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Starting to battle it out just a little bit. You see some drivers kind of taking advantage of some guys who are maybe making some early tests to the second groove. And whoa! Jeff McConey almost getting together with a lapped car there. He's showing a lot of early speed. He's really checked out on this field here real quick. I'm sorry, that's not Jeff McConey. That actually is Tyler Scott. Tyler Scott in that car. His and Jeff's cars are very similar, so try to keep those straight as we go along this evening. So right now, him and Bill Dart, he's going to slide up the track again. Bill's going to pounce, take care of the position. He might actually lose a couple positions out of this one. Everybody again kind of settling in single file here as we've clicked off 15 coming to 16 laps down at this event. Whoa! A couple of guys kind of coming together. It's like Lyle Christensen, and I can't tell who's on the bottom, but there was probably contact there. It's going to send Lyle to Tyler Scott again. I'm going to send Lyle up the track, and he's going to lose several positions on that one. There wasn't much that he could do there. Pretty surprising to see these guys pushing as hard as they are here this early in the race. Could lead to some issues. Drivers do tonight have one fast repair. Whoa! Never mind, there they go. Looks like that was maybe Bill Dart going around there. That should bring out the caution, and it does. So we will get a chance to go back here and take a look and see what went down there. You see the car, there he is, finally gets it spun around and taken off. Now that was actually, I believe that was Mr. Daniels. Yes, Tyler Daniels. Can't tell now. Not sure who that was. I believe it was Bill Dart. It looked like Bill Dart that was spun around. It looks like he just lost it coming out of 3 there, out of 4. And may have tagged the wall, but probably just got it looped around just enough that should not be too big of an issue. As we see some of the leaders and some of the guys in the back coming in, good opportunity to possibly fill up with fuel. The drivers cannot make it. Oh, here you go. Here's a replay. Get it set up and see what happened here. As they come around, yeah, there may have been contact for Bill, but I don't think there was. It looked like he had just kind of lost it. Looped it around, didn't touch anything. None the worse for wear. So he should be able to get that car righted back around. And off. All right, here's a shot from Bill's onboard camera. Wow. He's lucky that he didn't get hit by anybody else coming through. He did a really good job of gathering that car up and getting it set. So the drivers have come in, taken some fuel. Drivers may have taken some tires, but they are limited to the amount of tires that they can take. There are 6 sets available to the drivers tonight, so they may want to hold on to them, given we're only 23 laps in the books so far. So we're going to get them restacked. Looks like Lyle Christensen's going to bring the field to green. Now, as the pace truck peels off, the green flag will go in the air, and we will get back underway here in the Extra Life 300 for 2020. So John Borson, that second row, way up the racetrack, going through 1 and 2. Going to open the door. I'm kind of sniffing it 3 wide. Those guys are looking at it there. Holy cow. I'm sure their common sense will get the best of them on this one, and they will not force an issue 3 wide here this early in the race. It's just not quite necessary. So Marvin Termeyer doing a good job showing the way here. As we race off through 1 and 2, still got a battle for 3rd place going on there with looks like Casey and Jeff. And of course, Jeff's leading the very early part of this race. We know he's got speed tonight, so he came in, probably got fuel, and we'll look for him to be coming back up to the front here real quick. And while we're focusing on Marvin here leading the way, I'll give us a chance to talk a little bit about Marvin. I mentioned in our driver introductions when we got to Marvin's car that the other drivers we all had a location for, and Marvin I said anywhere in the country. Marvin Termeyer is actually a truck driver, and he has one of the most interesting sim racing rig setups that many of us have seen. He races from the, it's like somebody got loose and went around. We'll have to get back to Marvin in a second. So we'll see the number, it's like maybe, oh no! What happened? Wow, and the contact continues after the caution comes out. And you can see they'll go into the corner, and the 23 will get turned, but he may have come down on him, and then it should have ended right there. Wow, I'm almost at a loss because he then gets his car righted back around just in time for your leader, Marvin Termeyer, to come back around and drives right into Marvin, who didn't have anything to do with the initial accident. And then the two who initially started it get together a second time. So, wow. So now we have Marvin Termeyer, who's going to probably have to bring it in, I would assume, to get that car looked at. Now he's going to bypass pit road this time. So maybe he's not planning on it, but we'll see what becomes of that, because that was a pretty significant, wasn't an insignificant hit on Marvin's car, and it's unfortunate because it was a hit that did not have to nor need to happen. So we'll see if he brings it to pit road this time. Doesn't appear. So it looks like Marv's going to be content with staying out. He must feel like the car is still drivable as early as it is. Doesn't want to use up that one fast repair the drivers have tonight. But there are a number of drivers that are going to come in, take as much fuel as they can for this caution period, maybe get tires, maybe not. We've got 32 laps on them now, so it's not outside the realm of possibility. And we'll get this field restacked here in just a minute.
Extra Life was born. It just occurred to me that gamers should be able to do the things they love to help sick and injured kids as well. And so the funds that Extra Lifers raise can go to a variety of purposes in the local area at the local hospital.
So maybe your extra $20 or your extra $50 goes to curing 87% of children with leukemia.
62 kids like me enter a children's hospital every minute.
And I was one of those kids. You could save their life too.
Play games, heal kids.
And we're back. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Extra Life, our presenting sponsor for tonight, and the reason we're all here to join in and celebrate being gamers and raising money for a great cause for the OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois. We have a great campaign going so far this year. We're over $13,000 raised already. The campaign has been one for the record books this year, and it's because of a lot of great people. So, but the pace car is going to pull off, and we're going to get Rec ready, headed to green. As the field comes down, the green flag is out, and we are back underway. Matt Zaccardo is going to lead the way into turns 1 and 2. Field's going to get single file again pretty quick here. Jeff McConey chasing him down. Casey Bowdenau in third. They're going to be content to single file out. We're only 36 laps into this 300 lap event, so things are going to go on for a lot longer, so I'm going to need to press the issue here right away. But just as I say that, there's Jeff McConey going to the top spot, taking over the point here on lap 38. Anyways, we were going to break. I was talking a little bit about Marvin Turnmeyer and his racing setup from the back seat of his semi-truck, which is pretty neat. He's able to sit in the back seat, put his laptop, fold his wheel down, and race from just about wherever he happens to be in the country that night. Having raced with Marvin for a little bit now, he's one of the good guys on the iRacing service, and he's fun to race with, and even more fun to hear about where he's at, where he's racing from every evening when we get a chance to race together. And then his setup actually got tweeted by the official iRacing page, and then rose to fame when the Dale Earnhardt Jr. actually retweeted the picture of Marvin's racing setup in the back of his truck, calling Marvin a true American hero. So Marvin's got something to hang his hat on that a lot of us probably could only dream of actually happening, was having something acknowledged by not only iRacing but Dale Earnhardt Jr. himself, which is pretty cool in the racing circles. So happy to have Marvin here tonight. Always appreciate his support. I think this is his second, if not third year in this event. So always appreciate him being a part of the field and being a part of our program that we put on every year. Marvin actually has been on iRacing for over 10 years. So he has been a part of iRacing for a long time. He is the owner of the Raid Esports, or Raid iSports now. They recently changed their name. But stands for Racers Against Idiotic Driving. And they pride themselves on having good, clean racing without bump and runs or anything like that. So any iRacers are watching this, go give Raid iSports a look. You won't be disappointed. It's a great group of guys, fun to race with, and really take a lot of pride in putting together their program. So, but now we'll zip to the front of the field. Jeff McConey still leading the way. He has checked out by over a second on Casey Bowdenau already, and so he is still flexing that muscle that he has found in this. This is a fixed setup race, so Jeff is not driving anything that is different from what anybody else has. So the only thing different is his ability to work that throttle and turn the steering wheel. And so all these guys are working with a similar equipment, similar setup tonight, and they have to make the best of what they have. So the fact that Jeff's been able to stretch out his lead as much as he has already is pretty impressive. That he's definitely got something figured out as we go into the nighttime here at this track and see what becomes of it. So I'm going to take a quick look back here in the field. We've got Lyle Christensen doing battle with looks like Tyler Daniels, as Lyle's going to shoot up the racetrack, probably let Tyler go. Again, not really forcing the issue here tonight, just trying to click off some laps here early on, try to stay out of trouble, keep that fast repair handy in case something big happens later in the evening. You're not totally out of the race. For those who are new to iRacing, a fast repair is one reset essentially. If you crash your car, you're allowed to come to the pits, get a complete reset, brand new car, go back out and compete. But once you've used that fast repair, you can no longer have it used another time. So you'll have to actually spend time sitting in the pits, either getting repairs done to your car, or if it's bad enough, you'll be just out of the race altogether. So driver's going to be cautious here early on to not use up those fast repairs if they don't have to, which is probably why we saw Marvin Turnmeyer stay out earlier, just not using that fast repair. Is just not ready yet. Just not the time. So take a look back at John Borst. He's Another one that's usually has plenty of speed when it comes to these fixed setup races. John, the owner of the Pretend Racing Online series, or Pro, is putting together a fantastic series for 2021. Now they're going to have a dirt series. They're going to have a super late model series. Already putting together a legitimate A-list list of people who are going to run this series next year. It should be a lot of fun. I plan to be participating in that one myself. So looking forward to 2021. But John looking to make a statement here tonight. John has been, I believe, in every one of the Extra Life iRace events that we've done every year. So thanks to John again for his continued support and coming out to help. John usually has his car painted for Extra Life, which he does again tonight. Then he will generally participate for the Children's Hospital up in Minnesota, where he's from. So appreciate him being on board, as always. The rest of the field seems to be strung out pretty single file. Here again, they're actually starting to spread out over the whole Speedway, so we might get an opportunity here to really click off a considerable number of laps, albeit probably not in the most exciting fashion, as these guys have sunk in for the long haul, it appears. I'll probably regret saying that, but for now it appears like they're in a groove. Now they're going to make some laps, so unless something dramatic happens, I will probably be quiet for a little bit here and just let you enjoy the sounds of the race. Oh, wow, big crash. Big crash. Looks like the 23 got loose pretty significantly. They're coming out of 4. I don't think he got any help. But yeah, wow, he overcorrected big time and just plowed that outside wall. So I'm assuming he's probably done for the night. He or may have used that fast repair, so we'll let him get reset. And just that fast, we're going to fast forward a little bit and go back to green. As Casey Bowdenau is going to bring the field to green, Marvin Turnmeyer to his outside. Here we go. Field's going to drive into 1 and 2 pretty hard. You're going to be piled up here pretty quick. We've seen once again Jeff McConey going to find his way. Oh no, Marvin Turnmeyer again to the inside wall, got loose coming out of 4. I'm not sure if that's going to bring out a caution. It doesn't appear to be. No, there's the caution. Okay. So just that fast, we got another caution on the Speedway. Looked like Marv came out of turn 4 there and either got a little help or just got loose. And it looks like before he could fully correct it, it caught that big old tire on the inside wall, and that's all she wrote. See Marv pinch it down pretty hard right there, and then yeah, just loses the back end and drags that that left front right across that wall there before hitting the restart. So we'll take this opportunity to step away real quick and hear a word from our sponsor.
Finally. Oh hi, I didn't see it. I bet you're an Extra Lifer. Wait, what is Extra Life? Seriously? Extra Life is a charity gaming fundraiser. We play games to raise money for local children's hospitals. We raised $13.5 million last year, and all because of people like you. What are you waiting for? Sign up to Extra Life to help kids like me.
And welcome back to Five Flags Speedway in Pensacola, Florida. We've gotten the mess cleaned up from our most recent caution, and the field has pitted, and everyone's stacked up, reset, and ready to go back racing. So as the field comes through 3 and 4, pace truck is going to peel off one more time. Casey Bowdenau and Matt Zaccardo are going to lead the field to green. They're going to take the stripe at lap 73. Wow. power move there by Jeff McConey to turn 1 sends Lyle Christensen sailing up the racetrack. Gives John Boris an opportunity to capitalize on that as well. He's going to be able to take that bottom line. And so poor Lyle, he's going to struggle just a little bit on that restart. Through no fault of his own, really. Just kind of got bumped up out of the way and didn't get a chance. There goes John Boris. He's going to sail it up the racetrack this time. He's got to be careful not to hit that wall coming out of turn 4. We've already talked tonight a little bit about how treacherous turn 4 can be. And cars are going to go back single file. So they're going to, again, hopefully, every time I say that, I feel like I regret it, but be content to run a few laps off here and get down to the final portions of this race without causing too much damage to their cars. So, looks like Casey Badenau and Jeff McConey going to do battle for the top spot up there as Jeff once again flexing that muscle that he's had all evening so far and is going to look to take away that top spot from Casey. And so he's finally going to be able to slip by. Tight battle for the top spot. Everybody else is kind of singled out to about an even distance right now. Just kind of even pace with each other, but the two leaders, man, they are going wheel to wheel right now. So Jeff attempting to come back on the bottom and will take the top spot away from Casey Badenau in that 34 machine. Casey holding tough on the top, but it's going to be a little bit tough to run that second groove, at least for a little while. He's holding steady, though. He's not going to... Well, he finally does give a little lift and surrender the top spot to Jeff, but sort of does it reluctantly. Has allowed John Boris to close right in on third now. Singled out pretty good here. Top three are fairly close, a little bit of a distance back to the fourth place car there. Not sure 100% of Matt Zaccardo who's there, and then we've got Lyle Christensen and Kenneth Askew there after that. Those guys seem pretty content to getting click off some laps here. We start to close in on lap 100. We see Lyle Christensen in that 52, another regular on the Raid Esports tour over on Marvin's side with Marvin's group. Again, Lyle's been a big supporter of our campaign every year. We appreciate everything that he does, not only coming out to the races, but his generosity in giving to our campaigns is greatly, greatly appreciated. Cannot express enough thanks to Lyle for everything that he does to support our campaign every year. Coming out to this race and being a part of it is just a small part of that generosity that he shows for us every year. So definitely appreciate Lyle. Definitely want to give him a shout out here while we get the opportunity. And Lyle has also, he's kind of a bit of an iRacing vet, I guess. Lyle from Sandy, Utah, has been an iRacer for 2 years and does have 22 official iRacing wins to his name. So that's pretty solid for any iRacer. And then, as we mentioned, also a member of the Raid Esports or Raid iSports group. So if you want to go check those guys out too, they have a phenomenal group. See, these guys really just nose to tail right now, just running right into each other, but not really making any moves, at least for now. starting to get a little antsy, it looks like. Back there starting to peak to the bottom every time they come up on the straightaway. They're really able to get the momentum up off the corner that they need to really make a pass. So it seems like that seems to be a bit of a struggle for them right now as they finally look to the inside again, but just cannot get that run off the corner needed to make a run. It does seem like we might have some action here pretty quick. These guys are really pressing the issue here as we close in on lap 95. Bill Dart kind of taking a look to the inside of Lyle Christensen. Again, these two racing together a lot in the Raid iSports series, so no stranger to each other, and Lyle's finally going to move up, relinquish the spot to Bill, let him go on by, and probably end up losing the other 3 spots out of this as well as once you open that bottom up. There's not much luck. Well, Lyle's going to hold tight there on that top side, at least for a little bit. And the caution is on the Speedway. So there it is. Wow. Glad the field was able to see. Looks like, again, turn 4 has struck again. This time it looked like Bill Dart maybe down there up against the wall. We'll have to go back and find the replay here real quick. As you see some of the leaders coming in, going to take fuel most likely, probably grab some tires as we come to the 1/3 point of this race, and we'll click off lap number 100 under caution. So we'll see as things get situated here. Still searching for that replay. Here we go. Oh, that was the 36. He bumped the wall and then just kind of looped it around. So it doesn't look like actually there was any damage done, other than maybe that initial bump that created. That was the Kenneth Askew actually that was wrapped up in that one. So looks like he escapes with minor damage or no damage at all. So able to come in, get a quick pit stop, and we're going to get these cars reset and ready to go. As Matt Sicardo again assumes the lead, his crew getting him out up front, and he will bring Jeff McConey along to the outside, John Borst in 3rd, Lyle Christensen in 4th, the green flag, completing lap 105. So we are back underway here in the Extra Life 300 from Pensacola, Florida, at Five Flag Speedway. If you're just now joining us for the broadcast, we appreciate you being here. These drivers have put on a great show so far tonight, and no reason to believe that the rest of the event won't be as exciting as the first third. So please do stick around and enjoy the race with us. If you have questions, please drop them in the broadcast chat, and we'll be happy to type a response to you when we see them. If you have any questions about what you're seeing, what's going on, happy to explain a little bit more. We're at the iRacing Virtual Five Flag Speedway, which is located in Pensacola, Florida. For those of you who are new to the iRacing platform or what iRacing is, iRacing is an online racing simulator where the iRacing teams will actually go out with laser scanning equipment, and they will put the equipment on the racetrack itself in real life, and they will get a complete laser scan of the racing surface, bumps, cracks, grooves, divots, pits, all that stuff as it exists in real life, and then they will transfer all that data over to the game. Same is done with the race cars themselves. They're scanned real life race cars. They bring in people who actually drive these things in real life and have them put together the most complete, comprehensive feeling of a simulator, of a replication of driving this car in real life as possible. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect because it is, at the end of the day, a simulated video game. I don't want to call it a video game because I'm probably going to get in trouble for that, but it is a simulation. So, but it is as close to the real life thing as you can. So these drivers are feeling bumps, all the changes in the track surfaces that comes in feedback through their steering wheels. So It is as close to the real thing as you can get without spending a pant load of money to go out and actually run these cars in real life. These cars are NASCAR Pro Tour modified cars, and so that's why you'll see there's no fenders on them, the tires stick out, and it makes them a ton of fun to drive, but also very treacherous because with any open wheel car, any tire-to-tire contact generally leads to a giant mess. So these cars take some skill, some patience, a lot of horsepower in these big old tires, so they have a lot of traction. You can almost feel invincible right up until the point where you no longer feel invincible and you crash. So, but these cars are a blast to drive. The drivers seem to be having a great time, as you see a lot of Christensen drifting up. Gonna let some of those guys go underneath of him and take away a few spots like Bill Dart maybe slipping through there, as well as Marvin Termeyer. And Jeff McCoy right there going to slip through as well. So yeah, a good replication of how these things are in real life. Of course, the iRacing service has a multitude of race cars and race tracks for anybody that are interested in racing. iRacing.com if you want to go check it out for yourself. Sign up. It's always a blast to be a part of these things and be able to do fun events like this. Not to mention have the technology where these guys can race from literally anywhere in the world and take part in these events. Our field tonight, as we rolled through, we had drivers from Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, California, Illinois, Utah, Massachusetts, Minnesota. So a real kind of national field here tonight. Drivers from their racing from the comforts of their own homes. And we have a caution on Speedway. I see smoke down the front straightaway again. So I'm going to guess that maybe turn 4 has struck again. I see Tyler Scott down there, what looks like with a blown engine. So we'll go back and see if we can find out what took place here. No, I'm sorry, that's not Tyler Scott. And you see he just kind of got loose there. And tagged the wall a couple times and looped it around, unfortunately. So that will bring out our caution. And he did look like he has some motor damage. You see smoke coming out of the back of that machine. So he will have to come down and use that fast repair, unfortunately, which will put him at a disadvantage here the rest of the night, as he no longer can have any kind of major incident because he's going to be stuck with a full repair bill if he's in a crash. So looks like the lights are out on top of the pace truck. So we're going to bring them back to green here, lap 125. Field's a little bit messed up here right now, but wow, we're going to throw the green anyway. Jeff McConey's going to sail off into the sunset. I'm not sure what exactly took place there, but seemed to be some confusion about who was to be where on that restart. So anyway, we got it all fired off. So Jeff's going to pad his lead real fast to John Borst there in second place. And Matt Zaccardo bringing it in third place. So those three will kind of check out a little bit here. And while we keep an eye on Jeff McConey here real quick, we'll talk a little bit about him. This is Jeff's first appearance in any of the Extra Life iRacing series events. As he's kind of checked out on the leaders here. He's the only owner of McConey Setup Shop for iRacing, so Jeff actually spends a significant amount of his time building setups and sharing them with other iRacers if they're not running a fixed setup event. So that's pretty cool of him. He's also, in real life, the announcer at Stafford Motor Speedway. So he also got some talent, probably better than myself, obviously, as I stumble over everything I say here. Some skills at announcing races and calling races, so that's pretty neat that he gets to do that in real life. And also does broadcasting for iRacing in the simulation world as well for Podium Esports, Global Sim Racing, Full Velocity Racing Network, and Online Sim Racing Network. So he's been on iRacing for just a little over 2 years, but has clearly been very, very busy in the iRacing world, and has clocked over 200 official oval iRacing wins as well in that time. So Jeff, one heck of a wheelman behind the simulator rigs, and has certainly shown that muscle tonight as well, as he has ripped through the field in no time at all, and has really checked out to a lead tonight. So it's gonna take some strategy, maybe perhaps, to try to beat him tonight, as he's already shown that he is a force to be reckoned with in this race this year. Taking a look back now a little bit deeper here in the field. Got Kenneth Askew, Casey Badenow, Marvin Turnmeyer, and what looks like perhaps Bill Dart here, kind of battling it out for positions kind of 5 through 7. Again, talking about the reason I'm having so much trouble trying to figure out who's who in these races is this track is so dark, it's hard to see car numbers. Yeah, so you're trying to operate based off of paint schemes and stuff like that, and it's tricky. This track is very dark. The lighting here not necessarily the greatest for nighttime races. So, not only is it difficult for me to see which cars are which sometimes, but the drivers as well, as we talked about in the pre-race, that dealing in the darkness and trying to keep an eye on everything taking place can be difficult, and it's hard for these guys sometimes to navigate distances and corners and stuff like that when it is so dark out there. As we click off lap 141, everybody kind of strung out single file again here for a little bit. We'll use this opportunity to talk a little bit about that 7 car right there. It's Bill Dart, and Bill has also been a part of our Extra Life iRacing events here the last couple of years. Bill has been on iRacing for just about a year, but he's picked up 5 official wins. Bill from Linden, California, and is also a racer in that Raid iSports series. So we appreciate Bill coming out the last couple of years and being a part of this. Bill also came out to help us work on the setup for this race as well. So appreciate Bill's extra efforts as he puts in for this race and makes it the best that it can possibly be. Saw a little bit of a wiggle there out of that green and black machine, and it moved over and allowed Bill to jump in and take that position away. Of course, at this point, it looks like the top 5 are the only ones that are on the lead lap. We've got a number of drivers that have gone a lap down or more through some of the early race accidents, issues, getting caught under caution. So we got a number of guys a lap down, some still battling, hoping for that caution to come out. We'll get a lucky dog. Again, if you're not familiar with what that is, in order to promote racer safety, a long time ago NASCAR had stopped racing. Woo! A little bit of loose there coming out of the 4. Had ended racing back to the caution flags, but at the same time had an opportunity for drivers to get their lap back if they were the first car 1 lap down. So right now it looks like that is Casey Badenau. He is the first car 1 lap down. So if the caution were to come out now, and Casey was not involved with it, then he would get his lap back and get to drive around the field and get back on the lead lap. So very likely a number of those drivers, Dave Askew being one as well. Marvin Turnmeyer currently 32 laps down, so he's obviously got some work to do there. But those 2 guys will be able to get some laps back, hopefully if we have more cautions. But seems a little far-fetched right now, as guys seem to be pretty well settled into a groove again here. And just clicking off some laps as we come to lap 145 here coming up. John Worst currently holding down the 2nd place position. He was about 11 seconds back of our leader Jeff McConey, who is once again just checked out on the field. So these guys showing they don't have much yet to do with old Jeff here, as he continues to just run through the field and away from the field, as we come to 137 laps to go here in the 2020 Extra Life 300. And looks like the field's maintained, and it's pretty well strung out in this here. We'll go on board with John Borsch for a little bit from his roof cam, as John makes his way around this half-mile speedway, kind of running that second to upper groove as he goes around, see what he does in 3 and 4. And he goes pretty well to the bottom, 3 and 4. He comes up out of the corner. Not a lot of room for error here at the Five Flags Speedway. So drivers have to be very careful how they're exiting the corners, especially. It's very easy, like I said earlier, to get these cars out of shape. But pretty exciting view from John's roof here. And we'll jump back to Marvin Termeyer's roof cam as he follows John Borst around the speedway. And he's going to try to look to the inside of John. John's going to, looks like, move up the racetrack and just let him go. Of course, as you know, Marvin's many laps down, so not a position for John. Probably best to just move over and let him go. Marvin may actually be on fresher tires as well, so see that happening. You see just how fast laps do click off here at Five Flags Speedway. It doesn't take long at all for these guys to zip around the speedway and click off lap after lap after lap, as we're already down to 125 laps to go. Marv getting a little bit of a wiggle coming up out of the corner. So let's move around, do some static cams for the heck of it, since these guys are pretty well strung out. Give you a good look around Five Flags Speedway from some various camera angles. I feel like it might also be worth mentioning as we close in on 120 to go here in this event that fuel mileage may very well be coming into play here. These cars are strung out pretty far. Once again, I'm going to regret saying it, but we haven't had a caution for a while. And so some of these guys probably cannot make it based on our last fuel stops to the end here. There may be a few drivers who are good to the fuel side, so it may be interesting to see here. I think I mentioned earlier that Jeff McConey was running away from the field, and maybe someone would pull some strategy to be able to keep up with him. So that may be how we get a surprise winner tonight, is somebody who's good on fuel, whereas Jeff is not. And that's one of the unfortunate things kind of about the iRacing platform right now, is we don't know who stopped when or where, how much fuel they have left. So it'll be interesting to see if we go green the rest of the way, who has to come in and get fuel toward the end of the race, if we may try to stretch it to the end to pick up that $50 prize for taking home the win tonight. And just as I say that, there's John Borst sitting at the end of the front straightaway, looking to loop it around here. John was running second, so not sure what took place. See if we can go back and grab a replay. And you see Marv gets way loose. Oh no! Marvin gets way loose, tags the wall. John Borst nowhere to go. And just boom, that quick. That caution will change everything. So that is likely the end of Marvin's night, as I'm sure he's probably tore up that car for the last time. And John Borst is probably going to have to come in and get his fast repair for the final one of the night, as the pace car peels off and we go back to green. So now we have Casey Bada now at the top spot, followed by Bill Dart and Ken Askew. My guess is that those guys all came in for fuel at the last window, so we should probably be good to go now with coming to 110 laps to go. They should be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. So I think all that rambling I did about fuel strategy has just probably gone out the window. Everybody should be good to clean race it to the end here. But it'll be interesting to see as Casey Bada now checks out on Bill Dart. And Ken Askew, John Borst in fourth, Matt Zaccardo in fifth, and then Jeff McConey is now one lap down. So could make for some interesting drama as we race on here. Jeff's going to be obviously looking for a lucky dog caution to come out. That's about the only way he's going to get back on the lead lap, unless he can flat run through this field and unlap himself the old-fashioned way, which don't rule that out. As fast as he's been here tonight, it is entirely possible that he will run right through the field and make that happen. But one more caution puts him back on the lead lap and right back in being a thorn in everybody's side tonight. So there you see Jeff there racing it out with John Borst. So here he comes up through the field. Sure, he probably lost his lap, I had to guess, coming in for a long fuel stop there to make sure he can make it to the end, which probably was the prudent move, given the amount of cars that we still have left in this event. There you see Bill Dart taking a look at Casey Bonanow for the lead, and that opens the door for Mr. Marconi. Wow, huge slide from Casey Bonanow coming out of 4 there. He's lucky to have kept that together and not collected anybody else with him. And so Bill Dart will assume the top spot here for a little bit. As you see Jeff McConey coming around him, looking to unlap himself, as I said, the old-fashioned way. So now Jeff has nothing left to do but drive around the entire racetrack again and repass everybody a second time. But look out, world! Jeff McConey is now back on the lead lap. So in the meantime, John Borst is going to look to pressure Bill Dart for the lead. Going to try to click off a few lead laps here for Bill, which is awesome to see him up front in this event. And you see John really starting to put some pressure on, as we don't have that much further to go here in this event, and the racers that are left are stout for sure. Any one of these guys still capable of pulling off a victory here tonight. It is certainly, there goes John Borst. Just as I say that, John Borst to the top spot, taking it away from Bill Dart, with Kenneth Askew there in 3rd, kind of taking a look now at Bill. And that car you see in the front, that's Jeff McConey driving away, on his way to redrive through the field a second time, which would be pretty spectacular if it happened without a caution. So we'll look forward to seeing how that plays out. Truly amazing how fast he is. Again, when you think about the fact that everyone has similar equipment, or the same equipment and the same setup tonight, he has truly found some kind of speed that nobody else has been able to match yet at all. So he is flat driving away from this field. John Borst still technically your leader, as we keep an eye on the progress that Jeff McConey is making, because he is well on his way to unlapping himself. And actually has already completed that, as we now stepped inside of 95 laps to go. So this race just flying by as we stay green. Laps are clicking off quick. We step back. I don't know if there was an issue there for Dave Askew or not. Seems to be doing okay. So we'll kind of just roll through the field here real quick as we see some of these guys still battling it out here in the back. And by back, I don't mean that in any sort of mean way at this point. They're all running 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th for crying out loud. So that's hardly the back when you're running in a top 10 spot, but it just sort of feels that way when you've got guys as fast as John Borst to Jeff McConey tonight, just driving away from the field here. So these guys will continue to slug it out for those top 5 positions. Nose to tail. These guys at this point pulling no punches inside of 100 laps. It's pretty well timed to get after it as we click off laps at 16, 17 seconds, or every 15, 16, 17 seconds. So pretty speedy little event here as we get down to the nitty gritty. Of course, Five Flag Speedway in real life, home to one of the bigger events in the world here coming up soon, the annual Snowball Derby. Super late models, modifieds, late model stocks, Huge event down there in Pensacola every year. It's something that the late model world looks forward to every year, and obviously draws a big crowd. Just being announced actually a couple days ago, Chase Elliott will be participating in the Snowball again this year. So if you're looking to take a look at the real life Five Flags Speedway, go take a look at their website and get some information on the broadcast info for this year's Snowball Derby will be taking place. So it'd be great. Always a great event. Always interesting to see what takes place down there, especially when you get some of the biggest names and the biggest teams all competing for one of the bigger events in the league. So, but tonight we're still focused on the Extra Life 300, and that is our biggest event of the year. Drivers in this series this year competed actually in 3 races. Kicking off early in the spring, just as the COVID pandemic really took a hold. Everybody was still stuck in their houses, and we had our first event. We were down at New Smyrna Beach Speedway for the MD Sports Bar and Grill 150, and that race went extremely well. Had a great field turnout for that race, and then we had our in the summer we had our second race of the year, and that was the Lucky Hunter Jewelry Design 200 at Martinsville Speedway. Where we went and we raced late models around Martinsville Speedway. Another good event. Had a lot of fun racing that one. And then, of course, the series culminates in this annual event, the Extra Life 300. And so right now we're still working on deciding who's going to win that race. But appreciate all of our sponsors this year. MD Sports Bar and Grill, the DJ3 Extra Life team. Wow, as we see a huge slide coming out of turn 4, he manages to keep it together and keep it going. You guys have been on the ragged edge tonight coming out of turn 4. It's been fun to watch. Anyway, as I was saying, really appreciate our sponsors. MD's Sports Bar and Grill, Peoria, Illinois, annually hosts the DJ3 Extra Life teams. Oh, and they get together. Oh, and he collects whoever that was behind him. So there's 3 cars involved. That's got to be probably Bill Dart, I would imagine. And maybe Casey Bowdenow was involved. Kenneth Askew was probably the 3rd car in. If I had to guess, we'll try to go back and get a replay here real quick and see what took place. Yeah, it's like Casey got together with Bill and sent him up in the wall. And unfortunately, that was wrong place, wrong time there for the 36. And looks like 2 guys probably just going for the same piece of real estate. Yeah, and around he goes.
4 best friends are helping others through their love of video games. And for the 4th year, the Extra Life Game Day team, DJ3, is raising money for the OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois.
As Janie Bowman explains, they say it all started out as a small, fun thing to do, but now it's grown into something bigger and with a large purpose.
That's so cool. That really worked.
welcome back to Pensacola, Florida, Five Flags Speedway and the Extra Life 300. We have got the mess cleaned up. We are just about ready to see that pace truck pull back off again and set this field to green with 76 laps to go to determine who's going to take home the $50 prize for the win this evening. And don't look now, because that caution flag is exactly what Jeff McConey needed. He is now caught back up to the field and finds himself happily in third place as we look to go through, or I'm sorry, as he looks to go through and catch up with the rest of the field tonight. And he will probably reassume that top spot rather quickly if there we go. I guess everything kind of froze there for a minute, so I was making sure we weren't hopefully missing much. I don't think we didn't really miss a whole lot, other than the fact that Jeff McConey has driven from third to first in 2 laps. So as much as things change, things seem to stay the same here at the Extra Life 300 for 2020. Jeff McConey is going to reassume that top spot where he has been comfortably driving away from everyone all evening. So Casey Bodenau is going to do his best to keep up. At this point, John Borst is going to hang on to that third spot. And I hope you enjoyed that message from the DJ3 Extra Life team. Just that is the team that puts on this race every year for iRacing. They make it part of their annual campaign, and it really goes to a wonderful cause. And that particular group of guys, who I happen to be able to call teammates and fortunate enough to call teammates, spends a lot of time putting on their campaign every year and working on stuff to make the campaigns better and to raise a bunch of money. And so this is a big part of that, and we appreciate everyone coming. And so, yeah, Casey or Jeff's going to bring him to the line and complete 70 laps. So it's down to crunch time for these guys. Of course, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, going back to the DJ3 Extra Life team and their efforts this year, have raised over $13,000 already this year for their 2020 campaign, which is an incredible feat for us. I mean, I'm going to just talk directly about it. It's an incredible feat to come up with that amount of money in donations this year for the Children's Hospital. But it also is pushing our lifetime, since we started this campaign in 2016, our lifetime giving to the hospital over $30,000. So something that we on the DJ3 Extra Life team, myself, Justin, Josh, and David are all incredibly proud of and excited to be a part of this every year. And certainly don't see an end to it. We look forward to our annual marathon of gaming for every year. It's something that we used to do is I hesitate to say kids, but for crying out loud, we used to do it as kids. We'd game all night, and obviously when you grow up, become an adult, get a job, have kids, have a family, things don't happen as easily as they used to anymore. And so the Extra Life Marathon is kind of our fun way to break the monotony, go back to kind of relive our glory days and attempt to stay up all night. And boy, it's painful. I will speak from firsthand experience. That 3 a.m. wall that you hit is absolutely no joke, and it is impossible to stay awake sometimes. So, but it is a labor of love, and as you saw in that video too, this year is very personal for us. Our team captain Justin, his wife Heather, just had their little girl Josie this year, who was last year actually. And she was spending some time in the NICU unit there at the OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois, and things really kind of came full circle for us. We had gotten some information from the hospital earlier that year. Some of the money that we had raised was used to furnish the rooms in the NICU with some more comfortable furniture and things like that for families who had to spend extended time. And then, just sort of as fate would have it, at the end of last year, one of our own was spending time in that very furniture that we had helped to provide. So this year, really taking that to heart, having firsthand now experience of what our fundraising goes to, what these drivers' donor dollars goes to, and everyone who donates to our campaign, what it goes to. So we certainly appreciate everybody who pitches in on this campaign and makes it what it is. And like I said, it's something that we don't have any plans to stop anytime in the near future. So continue to look for Extra Life, not only racing events, but if you want to get involved in Extra Life on your own time, form your own team, extra-life.org. Cannot recommend it enough. It is a blast, and we are always excited to put on an event like this and cannot wait for the 2021 event as well. So we've already started having some conversations about what that will look like for next year. So stay tuned. But in the meantime, Jeff McConey is going to bring him to the line and click off lap 56, which means there are 55 laps to go in this event tonight. And it is going to go by fast. And right now, Casey Bodenau is kind of holding court back there, holding serve back there. But unfortunately, does not appear like he has much of anything to step up and challenge Jeff McConey, unless he has been somewhat sandbagging this entire time. As we look back out of the back of Jeff McConey's machine, making quick laps around here, and of course we've got the onboard camera from Jeff McConey's machine as he makes insanely fast laps around this speedway. Like I said, certainly has enjoyed this fixed setup, it appears, as he really rips through the field tonight and has led the vast majority of the laps so far, and unless he has any kind of major issue, I don't foresee that changing at this point. Seems like he is the class of the field so far. So John Bohr still holding down third place, back there about 5 seconds or so back. And then followed by Kenneth Askew, Bill Dart, and Dave Askew are still in the field as well. So the field dwindled pretty quick. We did not have that many cars to start with necessarily, but a lot of the early issues that took place really put a hamper on things. So just a handful of guys here left in the race at this point. And so we're going to keep clicking off the laps here as things wind down rather quickly in this 2020 Extra Life 300. Well, it looks like caution is going to come out here. Wow, this is going to reset things a little bit as we get down to the final portion of this race. I don't see any particular issue on the racetrack, but something had to have triggered this caution. So, oh, there we go. Wow, Casey Bodenau just getting a little bit too high up out of 4, clips that wall and zips him around. Wow. And as John Borst, let's get a shot from John's onboard cam as he comes out of 4 and just squeezes as him and one other car split Casey. Wow. And that could have obviously been much, much bigger than what it was. So, wow, good on those guys for being heads up and being aware of that car that was sitting there stalled in the middle of the middle of the track. So, anyway, we will re-rack things now. Matt Zaccardo going to bring the field to green with Jeff McConey to his immediate outside. Ken Askew and Casey Bodenau are going to make up row number 2 with John Borst holding serve there in the 3rd row. And so they're going to come to green, and Matt Zaccardo is going to get a really good jump with 41 laps to go. Let's see what Jeff McConey can do with this. As he's going to set his sights on Matt. Obviously has some time to make it work. There's no need to force the issue. Matt's going to guard that bottom pretty tightly. Try not to give Jeff any room, because any room he gets, well, he's got it anyway. And Jeff McConey is going to set sail. Matt Zaccardo slid up a little bit too high. He's probably going to open the door for Casey Bodenau to slip in through there as well. Casey probably using his last fast repair on that wreck, if I had to guess. So any more major incidents at this point are going to probably be the end of his night, but there isn't that much time left as the field comes out of 4 and clicks off 38 laps to go. There goes Casey on the inside of Matt Zaccardo. So move Matt back to third place, and now John Borst will set his sights on Matt. Let's see if he can gather up one more position tonight. As once again, Jeff McConey assumes the top spot, and we'll see if anybody has anything at all for Jeff in terms of speed. See Casey about it now. They're hanging tough. He's not letting Jeff get away too far, as we've seen. I'm hoping for a late race caution. We can maybe have a chance at taking the top spot. But for now, Jeff's pretty comfortable. Out there about half a second on Casey. Similar distance back to Matt. And really at this point, a similar distance back to John Borst as well. So everybody's pretty well strung out again. Would not necessarily expect any kind of caution if these guys can just move on through and click off these final laps. Use this opportunity while we kind of run down the final laps here to talk about any of the guys that we may have not had a chance to talk about yet. So we'd also like to thank Tyler Scott for coming out tonight, his first appearance in the Extra Life 300, as well as Tyler Daniels. Appreciate those guys coming out. Matt Zaccardo as well. He's got just an early entrance into iRacing and has already jumped on board this event, so we certainly appreciate him coming out. As well as Dave and Kenneth Askew, both from Pennsylvania. Obviously Ken, a little bit of more of a veteran on iRacing, been on the service for 9 years, and Dave only been on a year. So appreciate both of those guys coming out and being a part of this event as well. So really takes a collective effort to make this race happen. And every year we've hosted this race, going back to 2017, 2018. Was our first event for the inaugural Extra Life 150. Hosted that race at Indianapolis Raceway Park in the late models. And then last year we moved to super late models and went to Richmond Raceway for the second annual Extra Life 300. And then of course brings us right back here to the third annual Extra Life 300 in the tour mods at Five Flags Speedway. So, but every year we've had a tremendous field. Last year's field was unreal. I think we had 33, 34 cars in the field last year. Put on a whale of a race that went almost as long as the Extra Life Marathon itself, it seemed. But still had a blast putting on that event this year, and of course, or that last year, and then of course now we're dovetailing into this year with plans to be back again in 2021. So looking forward to the 4th annual Extra Life iRacing event. I'm not going to call it Extra Life 300 because we're not sure what it is going to be just quite yet as we flesh out the details, but look for an official announcement on what that is probably after the beginning of the year as we launch the 2021 Extra Life campaign for next year. So but we've already got plans in place, and so we hope a lot of these guys will continue their service with us. Their service, probably not the right word, but they're racing. They're bringing their talents to our race and really help putting it on the map. We really appreciate all of their generosity and their time to come out and put on a race like this. It is not easy running 300 laps around any racetrack, but especially Five Flags. It is a difficult racetrack, and so what these guys have accomplished tonight is no small feat, and they certainly should be commended, like I said, for their generosity, but also for their willingness to come out and take the time to make this happen and put on this event, because without them, there is no Extra Life iRacing event. So thank you to all the drivers tonight who came out, for everybody who helps make this race what it is every year. We certainly appreciate all that you do for the DJ3 Extra Life team. So we just saw Jeff McConey come across the line, click off 19 to go. So we are down to the final 20 laps of the 2020 Extra Life 300. Really has gone pretty fast tonight. We hope everybody has enjoyed the show these drivers have put on. Yeah, it really was a great race, even though we had some early troubles and then lost some guys early on. It's been fun to watch these guys go out and do battle tonight and compete for that $50 prize that is on the line. So we are down 17 to go, and Jeff McConey is still maintaining that comfortable lead of about 2.5 seconds over Casey Badenow back there. Actually, it just updated to about 5 seconds. So Jeff comfortably checking out at this point. Matt Zaccardo even further back. John Bohr still holding down that 4th position as well. And so it seems like everybody's fairly comfortable where they are right now. As the leaderboard cycles back around here, we'll take a look at Ken Askew in 5th, Bill Dart in 6th, and Dave Askew in 7th. Looks like Bill and Dave are both, well, Bill's 1 lap down and Dave is multiple laps down at this point, so we won't see any shuffling really other than the top 4 or 5 cars. Left of their top 5 cars at this point, but it seems like they're all fairly spread out on the speedway, so wouldn't look to. And the only thing to change that now, and I've said it all night, is a caution. And I've said it all night, and then it's happened. So this time around, you know, it probably won't happen. We'll probably just drive the rest of the way to the green. But boy, it's been entertaining when the caution does come out. That's for sure. So as Jeff comes to the line, 12 laps to go in the 2020 Extra Life 300, and he looks like he has really set sail. Again, has been the class of the field all night tonight, and no one has really had anything to match him. So it seems like he is well on his way, barring any major issues, to grabbing the victory here tonight in the 3rd annual Extra Life 300. Jeff from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, as I mentioned earlier in the night, the owner of the McConey Setup Shop for iRacing, so a bit of a mechanic, crew chief, as well as a driver, and clearly one heck of a driver. And as I also mentioned earlier, the real-life announcer at Stafford Motor Speedway. And so Jeff spent some time broadcasting races in real life and broadcasting races for a multitude of networks across the iRacing platform as well. And so Jeff clearly having his hand in a lot of the different aspects within the iRacing community, and so that's awesome to see guys that are out there touching all aspects of what's going on in iRacing in the current world of sim racing. So as he completes 8 laps to go down the back straightaway, pretty much 7.5 laps to go, still maintaining a pretty stout lead over Casey Badenow. I'm not sure I believe that, there we go. The ticker seems to be all over the place. So I don't believe he's 46 seconds because that would be more than 1 lap. So our ticker across the top has clearly gone haywire at this point, but that's okay. We pretty well know where everybody is going to shake out in this one, barring any major issues or cautions. And we have 6 laps to go. And as he rolls through turns 3 and 4, Jeff McConey's going to come out of turn 4 and take the white flag. And there's going to be 1 lap to go in the 3rd annual Extra Life 300 for 2020. here at the Pensacola, Florida's Five Flags Speedway. Wow. And he comes through 3 and 4 for the final time. Jeff McConey takes the checkered flag and wins the 2020 Extra Life 300. Casey Bodenau is going to come home second. Matt Zaccardo is going to bring it home in third. And John Borst is going to bring it home in fourth place. Wow. And Jeff, don't tell me he's not excited, immediately goes into his celebratory donuts, and he is going to burn it down as the third annual champion of the Extra Life 300. Of course, Jeff will collect some congratulations from Casey there and from Matt as he rolls by. He's going to, of course, take home the $50 prize that goes with winning tonight's race as well. And we'll continue his celebration. All right, well, congratulations to Jeff McConey on his big win tonight in the annual Extra Life 300. Here's a little bit of tonight's finishing order as we take a look down the list. Again, Jeff McConey taking the lead tonight, or the win tonight, leading a total of 210 of our 300 laps tonight. So quite a dominant performance for a race that had a lot of ups and downs in it for Jeff, and we thought it might come down to fuel mileage, but in the end, Jeff was able to get the fuel that he needed and stretch out a sizable lead coming to the finish line. But also congratulations to Corey Bodenau, who comes in second, Matt Zaccardo, who comes in third, John Borst, who comes in fourth, and Ken Askew, who rounds out the top 5. The other finishers, Bill Dart, Dave Askew, Marvin Turnmeyer, Lyle Christian, Tyler Daniels, and Tyler Scott all ran into issues tonight, and so the field was relatively small by the end of the race. But congratulations to all of them. Thank them for coming out tonight, and we are happy with how this race played out. So with that, we once again like to thank all the drivers who signed up to compete in tonight's event, for both their generosity and in supporting our cause, and for their dedication to putting on a great show for us tonight. 100% of the money the teams raised through Extra Life goes directly to the OSF Children's Hospital of Illinois. All prize money for tonight's event was paid via our sponsors out of their own generosity and desire to see this event succeed. If you would like to support the Extra Life cause, please take a minute to go and visit our Facebook page at DJ3 Extra Life, or you can visit our Extra Life official team page at www.extralife.org/team/DJ3 Extra Life. All the donation information you need can be found at both places. As we mentioned before, our 24-hour live stream is currently up and running, and if you're watching this broadcast, congratulations, you have already found it. Please stick around as we head off into the night. We're going to have plenty of entertainment coming up, and then well into tomorrow morning, because this marathon does not stop until 8 a.m. So we would also like to thank our sponsors once more for supporting our team and this event, because without them, none of this would be possible. They're a huge part of our game day every year. So please go give their Facebook pages a like, show them your support, thank them for being a part of our campaign, and especially with shopping season coming up, make sure to support them where you can. So with that, tonight's event is drawing to a close, and once again, on behalf of myself and the entire DJ3 Extra Life team, thank you to tonight's drivers, to our donors and our sponsors, and a big congratulations to Jeff McConey for picking up tonight's victory. We can never thank you enough for all of your generosity and support. Plans are already in motion for the 4th annual Extra Life iRacing event in the fall of 2021. So drivers, more details about that will be announced in after the new year. So please make sure to keep an eye on the email page and on the iRacing League page, and join us right back here for the 4th annual running in 2021. Thank you again for everyone for all of your support. This is Josh Cox saying good night from Pensacola, Florida.